Still in front from Butch Cassidy. Now Nadala's starting to thunder home. Moravia in front from Butch Cassidy. Cylinder's out now. He's charging, going to Moravia. Oh, Cylinder got out of jail to win the Run to the Rose.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro putters operate. Tell you what, I'm in second gear here. I've lost Walt. He's down in Melbourne. He's in DK country. Walt, you're in the dungeon. You're in the Crown dungeon. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I got this really nice invite from Betfair to do some debate, and they said, "Oh, can you come a day early and have a chat to us in the office?" I don't mind talking, but 7 hours I don't think I took a breath for yesterday. I was carted from one room to the other. It was I'm pretty cast, but we're playing golf today. Stadium golf or something? Hopefully that's a bit of fun.
You do 7 hours on the steer. What about you, DK? He's avoiding you. He won't go into Little Birdie headquarters. He's giving you the swerve.
Oh, no, give me the swerve, the old China. My old mate, I was going to see him, but I'll see him tonight, no doubt. And I'm on my lonesome here anyway. No Nico, I don't know what's happening there. What big races this weekend, and there's no Nico. So is he off with the bride for a naughty night away or something, Scoot?
I think so. He's got a bit of HH, but he's got Caulfield Yard Saturday, and then he's got Flemington. It's that sneaky little Sunday meeting that they put in there.
Oh, it is too.
They've got those 1,800 metre races for the slow Derby horses. Exactly. So he's still around the place, but big omission, but hopefully we can cover him. If you see Walt tonight, he loves black or white Russian drinks. So make sure you just go to the bar, grab him one, and put it in front of him, and see if you can get him drunk.
Neville Clements, Nifty Clements, one of the great bookies. Was a big, huge bookie when I was a kid or young at the races, and then has been a commission agent for a lot of years. Very well respected. He's in the Walt vein, but he's with the green cordial. Nifty only drinks, if he has a drink, Maduri and lemonade. I was thinking getting one of them, but at least it's green and he might sip it, But you reckon black or white Russian, Scoop?
Is it Walker's now whatever, dairy free or something? Don't know what I am.
I'll get you on the Maduris, Walt. That'd be your go, I reckon.
Here with the white Russians, you're trying to kill me.
The lines are flat too. If anyone wants to take the over on how many drinks that Walt will have tonight, I think we'll get at least two. He'll be thirsty after the debate, but it'll be interesting because I went last week to the Betfair function and debate, and it was a pisser, and obviously Glenn Pollock was probably best on ground by a margin. Interesting up in Sydney this week. Great racing. It's probably one of the best races I think for the whole year. I think I say it every year. I'm surprised that they haven't promoted the guts out of it, or I haven't seen it. Maybe because I'm stuck up here in the Gold Coast. You got Ryan Moore and Moreira. They've jetted into town. Moreira's on fire yesterday. It's strange, Walt, isn't it? Golden Rose is such a big race. You've got the Slipper winner, and then you've got all these big horses going around in an absolute belter on Saturday, and crickets.
I thought you were talking about the Heritage Stakes because that's the race I'm probably excited to watch. But it is. I guess we'll talk about it more in a minute. But it is weird, and it was weird that sort of Moreira came into town yesterday and ran we rode a couple of winners, but no real talk of him even being at the meeting, let alone sort of any fanfare for him riding winners. Whereas a few years ago, we would have been shining it from the highest mountain that Moreira was in town. And it's weird. He's lost a bit of his mojo, but I don't think he's lost any ability. But Ryan Moore would be interesting. I find it these guys fly in, fly out, struggle, and it's taken Moreira a long time to sort of acclimatise. And Ryan Moore wide gate from a horse that's probably going to get back. And first up 1400, he's going to face a task, I think.
Be interesting. We'll cover that race a little bit later, but he did win the Golden Slipper there, so he's not new to Rosehill, which is a good thing. A couple of little snippets. I thought there was a good tweet from Richie Irvine through the week. He's talking about the national betting obligation that he's trying to push through, and I think there's a lot of talk about a gambling ombudsman or something like that to register complaints and a national approach. But there was an interesting response from a punter called Andrew Carter. He said that Palmerbet have instituted a new marketing tactic, it's not a marketing tactic, to make it harder for punters to deposit by stopping you from using debit cards. Which is a big concern for me. Obviously, Polly's on the way out. It's been my brush from a lot of operators, and it's not really a purchase function for many people anymore. But this happened to a friend of mine as well. So now Palmerbet are making people deposit through traditional bank deposits and real like snail mail processes, and I can only assume it's to irritate the punters and to stop them turning over money, which I think it's pretty embarrassing sort of state of affairs. And It's pretty crazy. And the next one here, while we're on the topic, we found another doozy in one of the threads. This is crazy. So
Extraordinary, this.
Mark Dunphy, he's been around forever. He's a pretty good bloke and a bit of a sharp operator as well. So he's found this one where every time he has a bet with Palmer Bet, they make him do the computer-generated puzzle to prove that he's not a bot, which is absolutely insanity. So, they talk about bells and whistles and stuff on bet slips like Odd Boost, but geez, they should just hang their heads in shame. This is absolutely shameful tactics and a blight. And some of the old school bookies would just be rolling in their graves at how low these tactics are. And if you work there, I'd be embarrassed to go. I'd be embarrassed to put the jumper on and go into the office.
Is it weird that I sit at home, get a bit lonely sometimes, and I might actually have a few more bets with them because I feel like it's a bit of companionship, the old mind that find the bicycle every time I have to have a bet. I actually think it's an incentive to bet with them. I find it the other way. I think Palmer Bet's leading the way.
It seems like it's me. It's like they have their monthly meetings or their weekly meetings, and it's the how do we make them go away meetings, and they've been doing it for years and years, and they're just we've got that in place, we'll get them to put their financial records and their bank statements and this and that, and then we'll go to this level. Now we'll ban their debit cards and this and that. They're still not going away. Now we'll make them do the click and computer-aided, do the pick the thing before they can have a bet. I mean, it's just a race to the bottom of just things they can do, and because they can write their own terms and conditions and everything, they're doing it. So that's why Richie's onto it, and it's particularly like Doltz is a mate of mine. I know he's tied up there, and I haven't had a personal issue with the Palmers, but they are an old bookmaking family, wasn't their dad a rails bookie and all this, and they're on the rails, and it's disappointing it's come from them, in my opinion. I thought I wouldn't if it was Dar or someone like that, or the K's or someone like that, you'd expect it, but not the Palmers. Like they're bloody on-course bookmakers for all their lives and that. So disappointing to me.
Very sad state of affairs, and there's a lot of these tiny little pop-up dots in the ocean at the moment that are basically, trying to push the, we're Australian owned and support us, but they're some of the most poorly behaved corporate operators out there. So sad to see, but we need regulation. I do hear of a dispute going on in New South Wales with the same bookmaker we've just mentioned there, and it's hit its 4th year anniversary. So this punter's been barred, or he's had his account closed for 4 years, which is just another grubby tactic for not taking, I guess, any sort of smart and tough action, and it just makes you sick. Like, I log into TopSport and I only get one roll of the board with a little top-up, and I think they offer it to most sort of clients as well, or nearly every client, and they've always been really good with their reward system until the POC tax sort of hit them on the head. But Tristan's been the fairest and best for such a long time, and they're still they're not doing these grubby computer generated tactics and all these sort of things. So yeah, it's just not good enough. So you got to vote with your feet and support the guys that are actually fair and will take some money.
I'm doing a lot of reflecting this year because I started on my own in 2013, about May 2013 when I left Sportsbet and started my own. So it's 10 years. So 10 years I've been going for, and watching where, when Richard put that tweet out yesterday, I'm saying, 10 years ago, if you thought Richard Irvine would have written a tweet about a cartel of ex-on-course bookies making it so difficult for punters to try and back a winner, and I'm seeing that all the time. I cannot believe. I mean, I know things don't stand still and things like that, but from where it was 10 years ago, it is light years away from where it is in 2023, and who knows where it'll be in the future. But I mean, I was watching Jake Howard on his Wagering Wars little thing he's doing he's with the new platforms coming out. Like you think, we've tapped out at 95 to 100 bookies. He's saying with the 2 new platforms, Gen Web and that other one the girl from Betfair's in on, he thinks they're going to be 150, like 150 labels, It's still going to grow. It's anyway, there'll be plenty of chat about it tonight. I know that.
I think there's probably about, maybe a dozen that are sort of worth their salt, and you'd sort of trust them to take a bet and move money in and out. Anyway, that's another big topic for a quieter day. We'll try and move the show along because Walt's got a golf appointment, as he said. Speaking of holidays, as Don is good. He's over in Fiji surfing Cloud Break at the moment. He showed me some footage. Tell you what, if he's jumped in that, he's got balls of steel. The syndicate boys are flying, so if you want to start getting barred from some of these bookies, we don't mind sending a bet through to the Palmer boys. We're plus 122 units in front at achievable odds, DK's old classic, and we're hitting at sort of 17%. So everyone's sort of on fire just with their black books and their best bets. So join the team. We're swinging pretty accurately at the moment. Speaking of accurate, was Radina last week, hat tip, tell you what, in run, Kathy just sort of had to hang on. She was sort of stuck in behind, flapping all over the place as she does. It was heart in your mouth stuff for a while because you just knew, like, I was thinking the worst, but wow, once it sort of got out and around him, went like a Learjet.
Yeah, they gone pretty quick too, and she was up on the sort of tempo. So you're expecting if she didn't sort of find the passives through, something was going to close from behind. But yeah, I think the 3 trials and the grounding it had, it was one of the few wallers that showed a bit of intent and went well. Probably the only horse in that race that you want to follow going forward. Converge was a bit plain, but yeah, it was good result. Love Kathy for this week alone at least, and it was great. The bump Pippo out of the way was the icing on the cake for the collectors as well.
Yeah, the top 2 double, we've been struggling to just nail that second leg. So Converge was the black cat for that one. As we said, Nick will be back for the yard this weekend. Azza, he had Alfonso, another filthy second. Interpretation, I thought it needs 4,000 and maybe some sticks in the way for that horse to show its best. Carini, what a peach. I think it was Michael D. It keeps my my moral segment alive, Walt. And the good thing is I've got a moral in Sydney and you'll be offline by the time I talk about the race, so you won't be able to poo-poo. So you'll have to watch the replay after your little golf event. TopSport Steamers, bit of nightmare fuel last week with Antino.
Griff, mate, the mighty Griff. Don't forget Griff. The mighty Griff, the Sydney fall coming to the fore in Melbourne and embarrassed him. He gave it a sore backside and it still ran away from him. Go Griff.
Was a good effort, that one. In hindsight, I can't believe I didn't chime into that one. It was a good get and another $11 winner. As I said, Antino held up and interesting. I thought Ormond's a bit stiff there to get the lemonade, but he's probably got more assignments to do up in Queensland, so it probably makes sense to put him back up there and keep the business ticking over in Queensland, I would have thought. As we said, make sure you open an account with TopSport. Australian owned and operated. No funny buggers with these guys. Bet with a bookie you can trust. The boys up here on the Gold Coast, and we'll zip straight into the Rosehill segment. And the first race we're going to have a look at is race number 6, and it's the Golden Pendant. So it's all this fillies and mares form going through, and this is the Sunshine in Paris race here with Espiona, the favourite, at $2.60. She was an unlucky second there. Zugotcha in the same race, $3. A Tissue was really good, $5. She's a belt to $8.50 with the new stable. Banana Queen, $9.50. Good win last time. More Secrets at $18. Diamond Dealer, $21. And so Dazzling. Espiona is the replay we've got here. Walt, talk to us.
I can't see it, so that makes it difficult for me to talk about, but you can probably run through it.
Yeah, so Espiona's in the Star Thoroughbred colours. You got Sunshine in Paris just peeling off the back of the Godolphin horse there. She's sort of looking for a run out. Finally gets across heels here, but the good horse is off and gone.
It is, and then I thought Zugotcha sort of did half miss the kick, jammed a little bit, but Blinkers the first time. But my thinking in this race is that Espiona was probably, Nash was maybe a little bit sleepy first up, and possibly, I don't think it would have beat the winner, but should have been right on its heels. Zugotcha, I think, getting that inside run, I think that was, pretty good ground on the day. So not too many excuses for her. And I thought even a Tissue was the one that maybe arguably you should have got past it as well. She'd already had a run, Zugotcha, heading into that. And so she'd gone, I think it was 11 to 12, now to 14, Bleeker's last start. So I'm saying there's more improvement in a horse like Espiona here, who was pretty dominant over it late there. And then, I think a Tissue, if anything, probably the one I wouldn't be making it a winner, but I'd be sort of saving just in case it got the back of Espiona and got over the top of it, because they were just so powerful late compared to Zugotcha in a race like that. There's not a great deal of tempo in this race. Diamond Dealer probably leads on its own way, but just the strength and the ability to maintain a sprint that Espiona and a Tissue have, I think, I'm siding clearly with them over Zugotcha. And I just, you get that extra layer of extra pain when Waller will probably fire Zugotcha straight to the front here, it'll win by 3 and it's television or something. There's always that extra, part to it that you enjoy and embrace in a race where Waller's got 3 favourites in the race. So siding heavily with Espiona here and saving a Tissue for mine.
Obviously, she's a belter's got plenty of ability. Where is that at in life? Obviously, gone to the Annabelle Neesham yard.
Yeah, gone to Animals. So I'm not that. I think the trainers, the owners, are a bit of a highly strung character. So interesting. It's like, I think it missed a run or something. I know it looked like it was going really well for Snowden not too long ago, trialling really well, and was getting ready for a race there and sort of didn't eventuate. So maybe something's gone wrong and it's ended up changing to Annabelle. So, yeah, I'd sort of treat it as a negative change, but it was up and running and maybe only had a minor setback. She probably hasn't had to do much with this horse, but I think the other horse has definitely got the wood on it preparation-wise, so it's got to overcome that, whatever that little setback is, change of environment, and run past some pretty good horses that are, in good form. So if he beat me, I'd be happy to sort of lose all the race. It's probably the answer.
I would have thought Tissue's looking for further now, but I was shocked at how close it got first up. So obviously the horse going super well. All right, let's push on to the Golden Rose. Absolute belt to this 1,400 metre race for the 3-year-old colts. Cylinder. Jeez, I'm off the bit today. $4.80 into $4. Charmstone, massive move of this. $8 into $4.80. There's no scratching. This is crazy prices and flux here. Shinzu $5.50, King Colorado $6, Militarize $8.50, NCAP $9.50. Moravia $11, Libertad $14, Nadal $21, Butch Cassidy $31, Don Corleone $34, needs a new rider with J-Par falling off yesterday. General Salute $34 and Snapback the outsider at $101. Run to the Rose is the first one. Interesting race here. Probably wasn't the fastest. You got Militarized out the back. It's sort of the eye catcher. Chad didn't lead on Libertad, which is a bit surprising. Butch Cassidy sort of rallies up. Don Corleone probably a forgive. Cylinders just screaming to try and get some clear air. And once he bursts through, he puts the race away. I thought Nadal loomed up really well. Interesting one with Nadal. I was probably a little bit surprised I didn't go the other way. I'm not sure he's looking for the 1,400. Walt might disagree with me. And then Militarized sort of just rattles home. The other replay we're going to have a look at here is the trial of Shinzu. And that's Zaki up in front. But, nice and quiet, this trial, just sitting behind the speed here. But gee, just love the way he works through the line, especially over the 900 metres. Suggests he's going super well. It's way back in August, so they've kept him pretty hidden and under wraps since then. But even having a look at Shinzo, you just love the last part of all these sort of races. And when I went back and had a look at the slipper tape, it's an interesting one. He sort of just was running away from in the slipper like a runaway train. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I was kind of Moses parting to see though too. So. Yeah, for me, it's a horse that I can't possibly have just on setup. It's to be 5-6 weeks between that trial and this run. I think something has to have gone wrong. I know they've come out and said, someone said to me, so it's sort of at a temp or something and missed its first up run. But then they've come out and said sort of running here with a potential to go to the Everest second up, which to me just doesn't make any sense from the way Chris Waller normally sort of prepares his horses. So I think he's coming here off a setback and to win a Golden Rose, even though it's a weird one. It's probably a horse, like, again, if he wins, I won't be winning on the race. Same with Charmstone. I can't understand the go for it at all, sort of 1,400 metres. The race itself, to me, is one of the ugliest races of all time. There's sort of potential they could absolutely walk, which would be similar to that run to the Rose. Or you've probably got 6 or 7 horses drawn 3 to 10 that all want to be on pace, and you could see them all, because of the way that these races have been run, they could all come out with the same idea to sort of press forward. And that would change the race shape completely. So if they walk, a horse like Cylinder, who's potentially suspect at 1,400, could sit one line on slow tempo and just beat them again. And if they go mad, it brings, General Salute, Shinzo, King Colorado, all of these horses, Moravia, NCAP and Militarized into the race. So to me, I love these races usually can find an angle. I really can't find one at all just because of how messy the race looks on paper. There's no natural leader. I know Moravia took it up the other day, probably does again here if they do the same thing, but it's got 56,000 different ways this race could be run and a different horse is suited every way they run it, and you're probably not getting any value to compensate for those variables in any horse that I can see. Like everything's pretty, like Shinzo $6, King Colorado $7, nothing too exciting there. Stillard is probably the value for line at $4.50 just because he's bulletproof. He's going to be up there no matter what. And maybe NCAP $10, a touch of overs. Funny they've got Preble's out, but they put Dylan on it, which I thought surprised me a little bit. But whoever wins, I think is just going to be need a bit of rub of the green to do so.
DK, not your bag, but lightly raced horses are. Is there something that
I
You
had a
like
look.
the look of?
So I was looking. I went looking. So Cylinder won that race the other day, but hasn't been impressive last two. But he's 450, not evens. Charmstone's got to be a query over it. Had the race put on for it here first up, and then had the 3 wide was perfect spot for it the other day. It's got to step up. I also went looking for something like King Colorado because he came out of the Wink Stakes and the different, but 1400 again. He's going to get back. Doesn't set up well. The blinkers are on militarised. Walt, is that right?
Yeah, they are. But
that's what I went. So looking for something like that, the blinkers. So might get something going.
he could get the old collet ride. I don't know. I think Moreira's riding it, but gate to blinkers could be last the fence, and he could get the run that Shinzo got in the gold slipper, zip through, get a gap and smash him late for sure. Like it's the sort of height. It's sort of 850. You might get a bit better. It might be the one because you know it's going to be back on the fence. It's not conserving, and if it gets a gap, it's probably going to be strong. So it might be the value.
I would look for something like that.
I think it's the clear bet. I see blinkers on, barrier 2, 1400. Yeah. I think Moreira can sit this horse midfield. I'm sort of half in love with it. If you forgive his golden slipper run where he just didn't compete, he was also forgiving the Todman behind Cylinder that day, if you remember. So the only couple of times that he's failed in his life are off complete forgives. So he had no luck in the Todman. He got knocked over in the golden slipper. He's come out and bolted into the sires. He's bolted in on the the Champagne Stakes, albeit on wet tracks. I concede that.
Tracks is the query, but he was good first up off a slow tempo, so check that box a little bit.
That's right. They're not reaching for the blinkers in a bit of desperation. He was good first up, and then they reached for the blinkers. So I like that.
Yeah, suck, and this horse he's an absolute line finder. So
Zach had an upgrade.
And he just fits the profile beautifully. So he could be the real deal. If there's a chink in, I think Shinzo could be the best horse, but I can't believe he's $9.50. There's just no way that price will last. I can see this horse going $7, $6 or something like that, especially if Shinzo's off, the market's going to tell the story because those Coolmore boys, they love having a big bet as well. So if Shinzo's on, I could see him starting $4.40, but if they don't like him, he could start $10 if he's off.
Price be double on 50%. Longer than Charleston. Oh, it is double the price now, isn't it? It's just not possible.
It's just a strange one. I've found Charleston in the last couple of runs, but I've got big queries.
Yeah.
Big queries at 1400. Well, I think we all agree that could be the value, but again, even...
Here, please, can you do your moral while I'm here? I need to hear it.
No, not telling.
Come on.
I'm not telling. Who will ride? Who would you like to see ride Don Corleone if Josh Parr, or who's the likely rider? Snowden.
Hey, Tim.
So is he back? He'll be back for it.
Yeah, he's riding. He's riding Royal Tribute, and he's riding that How Good Are You. He's got 3 rides on the day, so he's in the room. I'm not sure who else has it, but I'd say he'd be starting favourite just because I'm assuming first point of contact is Ty, who has Tim, and Tim rides a lot for Henry Field, so it would make sense as long as they're confident that he's in good enough shape to take the ride. I'd assume he'd be the one that will take the ride.
I think if Tim ride, they're a smart booking, I would have thought. And if they can try, I know he's a bit of a tricky horse, but there's no way he'll start $35 if Tim's on it as well. I think he's a good knockout runner if Tim's on.
Josh is okay too, by the way. There was a weird one that he would have saw it. The horse sort of bolted on him and was going towards the fence, and then sort of did a slide like it was going into third base in the bloody Yankee Stadium. It was a very strange fall, and he came off awkward. Looked like he had some bad trouble with his shoulder and arm. But they no one got to see him until 11:30 last night. They were a bit worried, but he's just had a knock to the head, little decent concussion, and I'll keep him in for a few days because of that. But all clear otherwise. Scans on arm and everything were fine, and wrist. So hopefully he's not out for too long.
Timmy will have to buy him a milkshake if he wins the Golden Rose on his horse Don Corleone. Geez, that'd be sick for him because looks like a pretty good knockout ride. All right, good luck with your little stadium golf, Walt, and good luck with the debate tonight. I'm sure you'll nail it.
I'll see DK tomorrow.
Yeah, the durian lemonades all round.
Exactly, and a Black Russian with the Coca-Cola. Just what Walt needs, more time awake at night. He's a vampire. RacingWatch.com.au is where you can find his stuff in the Discord channel. full of vampires in there, and the Telegram group if you just want the best bets and you just want to bet on the move. So make sure you check out Racing Watch for the full gamut of racing at Rosehill. It's an absolute belter this week, as I'll drop the moral later in the show. But it's time to get the super sub Azza off the bench. And he's going to have a bit of an extended trip. We're going to try him over further with Nico out, but he's seeing them not too bad, the assaulter from Malta, but he hasn't had much luck over the last couple of weeks. But welcome to the show, Azza.
Thanks, boys. How are we?
What?
Yeah,
We're up and about.
you're out of the cupboard since that thing at Geelong last Friday, whatever it was, the bloody beast shin bloody thing. Jeez, what a horror show that was. To get beat like that, God, what was it? $4 to $2.40 or something.
Great bet.
It was tough. I had to take a few deep breaths and go for a bit of a walk. I could tell you that it was tough beat, that one. But anyway, just keep punting.
Yes.
Put the mouth guard in. You might have to share. So we just have Walt on the screen. You probably saw it. You have to share some of your tanning tips. It's just gone 28-31 here up at the Gold Coast, and he's pale as a ghost, old Walty. But the Testa Rossa Stakes on Saturday, Caulfield's the first race that we're going to have a look at here, and this will put a bit more colour and a bit more spring into everyone's step here, because the horse that's absolutely airborne at the moment, Amenable tops the market here, $2 at TopSport, here to shock 440, big run last start. Behind Devoted when he was so poorly in at the weights versus that runner. Bandersnatch $6, Corner Pocket $6.50, Savannah Cloud $15, Umgawa $15, Airborne that horse, Banker's Choice $34, and then you've got Red Sound Sensation probably $41. It might be over the odds there, and Buffalo River. But the replay here is Amenable in the Memsey. As this is the one you like.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's many people watching the show. I haven't seen this, and look, I do apologise. I really don't like coming on here and tip it $2 pops, to be honest. I always try and find some value. But look, this horse to me, this is the best run of the spring so far for me. You see him coming up in the line on the rails, against, this is the AAA form of the spring. Mr. Brightside here and flew home. Bandersnatch, who had the PR this day, he's one of his opponents here. And look, Amenable's drawn 10 of 10, and at $2, Matt negative. There's a lot against it, but why I ended up just thinking I still think he'll win is there's a lot of speed in this race, and old mate Buffalo River in here to shock will be positive. Savannah Cloud to go positive. I just can't see a sit and sprint here that would rule Amenable out. And in a case where there's going to be better than even speed, actually 10's an advantage. He can come down the middle and round them up, and off that, if he matches that run last start, which he should, goes to third up here. Does stay at 1,400, but I think he's a huge chance in the Toorak, even with Amelia's Jewel in it. I just think this is his race to win against horses who are inferior. I wanted to back here to shop wherever it went, but not in this race. I was hoping for something a little bit weaker in a mile. So for me, Amenable stands out of that run. Gets everything. Just want to be on best bet of the day.
I sort of like Corner Pocket and Buffalo River setting up the tempo, and I think that, I was sort of thinking this horse would go 1,600 next start, but if those two are up front, I tend to agree. DK, you with him?
Yeah. Blind Freddie could see it the other day, but again, wide barrier go back, but that's the grouse form, and he's a horse going places, that horse. So he slipped behind, apparently coming out of the gates there. So that's what Jay Carr said. So that's probably why he's so far back. So arguably should have finished even closer, but. That's just everything you just love to see when you're doing the form is a horse like that, and you want to back him next start.
Lost a couple of links on the turn there because she was sort of just awkwardly placed, stuck behind a couple of backsides there, and then sort of had to dart back into the inside. So entitled to probably finish a little bit closer again there. But good point you make about the slipping from the barrier. So that's that's one leg of our top two moral double. So hopefully we haven't jinxed it there, because we just can't quite get the second one across the line at the moment. Guineas Prelude is an absolute ball terror of a race. Race 7, it's the 1,400 metre Group 2. Azzopardi is the favourite here, $2.90. V8 is $3.80. Centrefire $6. Shalite $9, Little Bros 12, Rock Empire 15, Southport Tycoon 17, Prince Zero 21, Armed Forces 21, Snow Patrol, Unlucky Last Start $21, and then Some People Call Me. Great name, that one. Maurice Colt, that one. But V8 is the first replay. We're going to have a look at two replays, V8 and then Step Party. But here's V8, and a big note here, Azza. Nico said he was fat as mud in the yard.
Yeah, a lot of improvement out of the yard. It's a pretty consistent thing. Look, this horse was really good in his 2-year-old year. Went up to Sydney and failed on that. That was a heavy 12 that day, that race at Militarised one. He was really heavily favoured that day. I thought this was a great presumption. I was actually against him this day. I thought this was a fantastic win, a really good springboard to what's clearly the targets coming up, which is the Prelude and then ultimately the Guineas. I think 1,400 metre based on that size win is just going to suit him down to the ground. I marked this horse favourite in this race. I was very surprised that it hasn't come up yet. I thought that a very other eye-catching run behind it there was a horse called She Light. I don't think many would have missed that either. And I absolutely love the jockey change for it. Stackhouse off the Sarah on. Clearly 1,400 is going to suit. I think it's a horse with a lot of ability. And I think that's the form for this Guineas Prelude.
Well, even after Legacy's plotted to the line the other day.
Yeah.
You still like that form?
I think that's why we're getting the price. I'm still happy to back that this horse is on the way up. If there are failures behind it, I just think Legacy's was hugely overbet the other day. So I'm okay with that. I still think this horse will progress off that. As I said, I think She Light there behind it, and the figures that they ran were
it was the best run in the race by a mile. She Light,
in
that race.
Yeah, agreed.
Just a shame it's drawn poorly.
The only thing is it's drawn outside again, going to go back.
It was the best.
So I just thought V8 from 2 there was going to with Mellum.
Well,
I was going to get all the favours. I just can't see it not being in the finish.
I tend to agree in terms of the She Light thing, and I thought Legacies might have just ripped the guts out of her. So
Peter Moody, Shorty, they're just fucking leave me out.
Everyone's
Pete Moody just knocks up getting Shorty.
Now this is a Azzopardi race. Now I guess what shits me is you watch .com and Azzopardi wins this, and they all say after race, this horse can be anything. What a win! I mean, they absolutely
it was a barrier trial.
Absolutely crawled in this race. It sat OSL. I actually think probably Brave Mead and Centre Fire behind her a better run. The figures out of that race are poor. I just think that the V8 race is a stronger form line leading into this. And as I said, it just annoyed me a bit about the hype around Azzopardi. I still think he's got a bit to prove. I think he's way under the odds in this race. I take a stand against him. And that's why I'm siding with V8. I did think Centerfire was a good run there, obviously from a strong stable off that slow speed. But I just think Azzopardi's short. I think even that Southwood Tycoon race, that midweek race was really strong as well. Whether that's going to measure up, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm going against that Moonee Valley form and going with the Caulfield form.
DK, a lot of these horses are your horses?
Yeah, I was a bit torn here, but you can't really use that rate. When you see such a slow tempo the other day with Azzopardi and Centerfire, you can't really, if you're doing a rating, you can't allocate that rating because they went so slow. And then V8 was in the more solidly run race. But the jury was out a bit for me. Azzopardi's a really, really, really nice horse. And Centerfire's a really nice horse. I think they're 3 real quality animals. But V8's going to get the box seat where Azzopardi end up from 8. This probably rolls forward. I didn't want to have a firm opinion, Scoot. I wanted to have a look at them all again, just the 2 off the slow tempo race, and then the Legacies. The Legacies the other day, I thought it puts a question mark over that, the strength of that race the other day. Myself personally, even though Az's not worried about it, so the jury's out. If She Light had drawn a barrier, I would have been steering towards it, but it hasn't. It's drawn 11, so I was a bit watch and learn, mate.
I was in Naz's corner heavily with V8. I just like him as a type, like his action, like everything about him. My biggest concern is barrier 2, as you sort of say. He might need a chopper rescue at some sort of stage. I think his biggest worry is if he gets stuck in behind the lead horse and just can't get clear room. So that's stopping me from sort of betting right up from that runner. But and I don't know. I think she could be an advantage, and be interesting to see if anything else. There could be a bit of a tail to this race with a couple of these horses just not really exposed. And
Southport Tycoon was an extraordinary win the other day. Like he got up there and then he started going hard left. Remember that, was it?
Yeah.
And then he still, the other horse looked to have him, and even though he was hanging in, he kept finding the line. Like I know his greenness might cost him this time. He's only had 2 starts, but dearie me, that was raw. That's raw talent.
Yeah, I think if anyone hasn't seen that race, that's the strongest 3-year-old midweek form race you'll see this spring. Even Snow Patrol behind it, potentially. There'd be an argument to say it would have won if it didn't get chopped out. So, and I've got a lot of time for that Griffiths runner-up. So, I don't know. I just feel Azzopardi in this race is going to have a target on him. I just think the map's very sticky for him. And I just don't see where he gets through in the run, and he may just have to press on and sit OSL and use up a bit of tank early. I just see V8 just saving up tickets with the best sprint. There's no way Mellon's going to get stuck in the coffin here, surely. I don't think he'll get bullied down the rail. So, anyway, could be wrong, but look, I agree. See what DK's saying. We want to learn more for the Guineas wise, but I just thought it was value V8 at $4. I was just surprised the price.
Yeah, I think you boys are all around it, so it's going to be fascinating watching and a real race to follow the form. It's one of the strongest I can remember, and I like the fact that there's only sort of a dozen runners there too, so less traffic and less problems, and fingers crossed if the horse that you back gets a clear passage. The next race we're going to have a look at is the Naturalism Stakes, and one of DK's old boys here, Floating Artist, hits the top of the top of betting.
What about the rider change? Oh.
Mark Zara's got a massive book on Saturday, doesn't he? $3.60 favourite. Barclay Square, $5.50. Blinkers go on, interestingly. Goldman, $8. Big Barrett overcome there in 19. Alaskan Gold was good last start, $8. Future History, $10. Here's a Shocker, was really good too. Gets Blake Shin, $13. The Summit, $13. Bear Story, $17. Emissary, $18. Milford loves this track and chirrup, $19. Regal Power, $26. Uncle Bryn, $26. And then Virtuous Circle, big in the Sydney Derby at $26. And then Daquin Sweet Jr., $34. Shiraz for Ollie, $41. Funny little race here with it's got a bit of a tail, this one, but the replay we're going to have a look at is the race that Regal Power comes through in the pink and the white, as in the blinkers.
Look, this horse could be completely gone. It's $31. This race has got a history of throwing up upsets, and the profile of the horses that have are usually third up and just have that fitness edge. I just thought he was sort of looked a bit guided out. But in the last 100 here, he really did accelerate well. As I said, he's an 8-year-old who's had heaps of problems and could be completely gone. But at $31, I just thought he was the best roughie from the day. I think the race is very skinny. I think Floating Artist is clear top pick. After its last win, I started looking, thinking, Caulfield Cup, what weight's it going to get? It's got 52 in the Caulfield Cup. It's got to be a huge chance, I reckon. And I thought the only other one was Old Mate Berkeley Square, dropping 5 kilos. They finally put the blinkers on. He was unlucky, but last chance saloon for him, even though I said it last start. I can see why he's in the market. This is proper kitchen sink job. If they don't get a result here, it's like, well, they just don't have the horse I thought they had. I think 2 main winning chances, Floating Artist and Berkeley Square. Clearly Floating Artist, but Regal Power, as I said, I've had something like $31 as a roughie each way.
Interesting race. This, it sounds like you've got a bit of opinion here, DK.
Yeah, well, as soon as you've sided with horses you've got a relationship with, and I've always liked this horse with Teo and T Stockdale and whoever's swinging off it, and there's Zara going on. Like, oh, how good. So, yeah, like obviously he won the other days. He's in good order. Don't make these Ma horses with this 6-week gap. I mean, other stables are a setback. It's just how they do it. It's just what they do. And they're just the best stable, 2,000 metre plus. No issues there. Love Zara going on. I couldn't see past that. Past it.
You raise a good point, DK. Geez, Teo, when he slaughtered this horse that day at $1.50, I think that was a race named Duo one. Where is Teo?
He had that bad fall at the Valley, remember?
It was our
Fall,
horse, Fluorescent Star.
That's the one. Yeah, poor Fluorescent Star. Yeah, with your camp. But he saw him the other day, interviewed or something. He's getting better. He's not far away.
Yeah,
I think
good.
from maybe track work again today. But yeah, like kicked up in the Melbourne Cup with him on, and yeah, just I mean, like when you see rider changes, and this is apprentices basically to elite. So yep, I couldn't see past that. Scooty went no further.
He's a great price.
Yeah, I'm not sold on him at the price, and I know you say he hasn't had a setback and all that sort of thing, but he was off the scene for a really long time. He's an 8-year-old. I can see that he looked good the other day. I thought Goldman, when I went back and had a look at him, they went pretty quick the other day, and that's that would have cleaned him right out. I think he's a good horse. I could see people chasing their money with Berkeley Square. Too short for me. Alaskan God, definitely improve up to 2,000 metres. Future History, maybe end of prep. I went looking for He's a Shocker. Then I actually found Az's horse, Regal Power. And then I kept digging into the race thinking, oh, God, this is just a bloody nightmare, this race. You can sort of half make a case for Bear Story, who was real wide, and then
hang on, I've got to get the pen out for Scooty's quaddie numbers here.
Well, this is what I mean. It just becomes this race is just as it says.
It's either skinny or get wide. There you do.
Get ready, get wide. It's Bear Story. I reckon Bear Story is a big price, especially at the weights. I love the Regal Power bet. I'd have to have something on that at 30s. Virtuous Circle. You talk about horses that you're in love with. Well, he's one of my old boyfriends for sure. Daquin Sweet Jr. I know this horse can pull a run as well. He's at $34. You got the goat on Shiraz, who couldn't get the weight of one of the horses down the bottom, who also looks suited. And then you've got a horse like Timor, Chris Waller at 150 to 1. And then, gosh, talk about grade up. I think I want to play like Azza. I want to back 2 or 3 roughies at sort of 21 and then maybe go wide in a quad leg. But just this is where I have my little drinks break or a bit of a rest to try and get myself through the last hour of betting. But wow, this is a tricky race.
Field for you, skinny for me. I saw Floating Artist there. Then I saw Berkeley Square. I said, I'd only ever come back into Berkeley Square again if it had D. Yendall, C. Newitt, or maybe J. Maskeel on it, or someone like that. Someone who's going to bash it, someone who's going to stand over the bloody thing, because it's got that. You got to get up it at the 600 or 700 to wake it up. I don't know if Harry's the right man for that. He's a pretty kind rider, Harry. So anyway, the blinkers might do something, but yep.
Maybe blinkers.
Anyway, no, hey.
Maybe blinkers.
A bit of desperation. We'll talk about the blinkers on militarised. I reckon a bit of desperation there. The blinkers on Berkeley Square.
Yeah, he could over-race him. Who knows?
Great point you make, DK. There's 2 types of blinkers changes in there. There's the desperation, this is our last gasp, and then there's sort of set play grand final. And I think that's a real valid point you make.
Where they've worked a minute previously, maybe the last prep they might have trialled in them. They just keep it up their sleeve, They just know, okay. But this is, he's been one paced, and we better throw the blinkers on, try and get him to go. Anyway, spot on.
I think great point you make too. Sometimes I just love when you get, like a Noel Callow or a...
Callow, there's another one. Yeah, stand over, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he went up and rode one of those headstrong horses midweek for us, one of Les Kelly's horses, in the syndicate bet like last Wednesday, and stood over one. And sometimes that's just what you need. Quick look at
Nash is another one.
Nash, another beauty, absolute beauty. Yeah. So, reckon you're 100% right there. Let's talk about the Underwood Stakes quickly. We won't go through any of the replays, but it's probably too big a race. It sounds like Alligator Blood is going to back up without a fights there. Solcombe, Tavalu, Lindemann, Attrition, Due, Moanga, Duke de Sessa. Pretty hot little race here, but Alligator Blood, everyone says, he's not really great past the mile. He did win the race last year.
We're going to be quick. Yeah, look, I thought there's going to be pretty solid tempo there, you'd think. So I thought that set it up well without a fight. 1800 is a great kick-off point for him, and even though he's drawn a bit sticky and be back off him, I thought seems a bit of speed there with Alligator Blood and Lindemann, Tuvalu and a few others. So that's the way I was leaning.
And I thought that the Q22 and it had a bit of guts to that, so I thought that the race had a bit of guts to it, and I thought his win was pretty good there. It was pretty arrogant, so free bet I'd be probably sooling into without a fight as well. Azza?
To be honest, I haven't done the race because after Tuvalu's first up run when they hooked it, just gave it a barrier trial, I
backed it in this race at $26, thinking it might be 8 horses and it'd be only on speed horse. And here it is, old mate Alligator Blood's rocked up. So that's completely tortured me there. So from 13, it's probably can't win, and it's $8. And that's $8. So it makes me think, well, where's the winner? I'm on Without a Fight, the Caulfield Cup, pretty heavily. So I just hope Without a Fight runs awesome, and I'll just watch. I've never been able to catch Alligator Blood, but I think the setup looks great for it on Saturday. But yeah, I thought even Bank Ball was good first up, $34, but I'm not sure this is the race. I just don't know if it's a Group 1 horse, Bank Ball. I think it's just that level down. So yeah, you got Lindemann third up, Waller off that young Chelmsford. What do you do with it? Trition, Fly, but is this the right race? I don't know why they're not going Turak. Anyway, so yeah, I just did my head in.
Yeah, it's either real simple or a couple of different angles there, as you say. All right, time for we'll keep Azza on the show, and there's a heap of stuff to get through still. Scooty's Moral Time comes up in race 7 at Rosehill, and Waterford's come up favourite, $3.10. It's the favourite. It's my moral this week. Cepheus $4.60, Crosstalk $4.60. Kerwin's Lane $8.50, Williamsburg $8.50, Flying Crazy $10, New Mandate $12, and then Magical Lagoons out the gate there at $31. But I thought it was a knockout chance here. Let's have a look at the replay here, and you can see Waterford. He's in a pretty good position here. He's 3 pairs back and just sort of peeling to the outside here, just coming off them 3 wide in the red. And my comments here were just stay with up in trip, and there was a couple of horses that Golden Mile's the winner of this race, just got the absolute dream run in behind the leader and just showed too much zip for it over 1,300 metres. And then the Inevitable, who's come back absolutely flying, who's got the All-Star Mile form and really good horse. Interesting though, the horses that beat it across the line there, Golden Mile and the Inevitable, they just disappear from this race. So the hardest horses to beat were those 2 horses. They're not there. You've got Cepheus coming back from Queensland. I don't think this is his grand final. He's got one of those other Kosciuszko or one of those other races, one of those gimmick, big dance, little dance, barn dance, whatever the dance is. That's his grand final. Crosstalk I can see being a bit of an issue or putting the speed up front. Horse like Williamsburg is an absolute flea. It was set a bit of a task last start. I think it was at Eagle Farm. Had everything. Well, that was the race it should have won, and now it's got blinkers on here, down to 53 kilos. If that horse beats you, I think you just got to suck it up and sort of move on. He just loves a saucer of milk. So there's 2 of this horse, but I can't have it at all. I thought the knockout runner to beat us was a horse called Magical Lagoon. So she's first up. Waller, K-Mac. She's got a fair bit of class and a European galloper. So I thought first up 1,500 would be the real roughie that you just don't want to lose. So you can easily save her with not much money there. But I think the Gelds has made Waterford a brand new horse. Posted a huge figure, really strong rating race. That one stays down the weights, and then off fence is just great for Tyler Schiller. I know he got one strung up yesterday in the staying race, but he's sort of riding okay at the moment, Tyler Schiller, compared to someone like Dylan Gibbons, who's sort of off the boil completely. But I thought the wide draw will suit, and this horse just loves 1,500 at Rosehill too. I think 5 starts, 3 wins, and now he doesn't have his plums. I think he's definitely the horse to beat. 1,500. There'll be not much that can beat him in the run home here. Maybe New Mandate was the other one with a bit of class with Joe Moreira now on. But not sure if you've had a look at this one, Azza, or have got a conflicting opinion.
No, I had a look. Waterford's form at Rosehill is impeccable. To your point, Gelder was good first up. They raced each other this track and trip, Waterford and Cepheus, in the autumn, in the Ajax, I think it was. And Cepheus towed Waterford up, gets about a 2 kilo benefit on it for that run, Waterford. Crosstalk, I went to try and find that, but all its best ratings to me look like on Sting out. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get too far out of his ground here, Tyler Schiller on Waterford, and be too negative. I think you're on the money. I can't take these Waller first uppers, no matter what they do in trials and that sort of thing. If they beat you, so be it. They rarely do. So I thought it was the clear standout in this, and some of these have got prices next to them just because you have to put a price next to them. I could see Waterford say pretty short here.
I could probably, I could see it jumping sort of like $2.50 or something like that if the big syndicates line up and sort of see what I'm seeing. DK, any thoughts or?
No, I didn't get that far, Scooty, but you're running hot, aren't you? So, as they say, the morals have been winning, so I better tell you in there, mate. Sound like a box ticker to me.
Yeah, it looks like it gets every chance. And then we'll put in the top two double with Amenable. So you've got Amenable top two and then Waterford top two at TopSport for $3. So $100 max bet there. So fingers crossed we can finally get one across the line here, because we're proving it a bit of a challenge at the moment. But I'd be shocked if it doesn't run top two Waterford, and equally as disappointed if Amenable can't hit the line there in the first two positions. As I said before, Donny is away. He's surfing in Fiji. So last week he had Ahuriri run second at Newcastle, which is a bit sick. Plenty of money for it. This week he's gone Toowoomba race 8, number 2, Yellow Brick in the Wheatwood, $1.70. I think there's one Golan horse that Situation Room could be a danger there, but this horse has got the Golden Eagle, or one of those eagle races. So I think it was like $2, and it got snapped up pretty quickly, $2 into $1.70 pretty quickly in the Wheatwood, and looks very much suited there. So that was Donny's little best for this week. And then TopSport Steamers, as I said, no luck with Antino last week. Absolute sickening. So whoever had the 2,000 at $2.70 would be in a coma with that one. But a couple of bets here. Caulfield race 9, number 10, Solcombe, 700 at $11. Interesting, they've gone this way with this horse, and really tough race. With the speed on, it might pan out, but gee, I just don't know if Waller's... he might sprout a bit, this horse, and be now looking for further. DK, did you think?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, all roads lead to the Caulfield Cup, don't they now? So, yeah, look, he the way he got home the other day, you can see why if someone's playing in the race, they probably want to have him covered, but you assume that person will be backing a few in the race.
11 into 750, so bit of a move there. Az, would you like that bet?
Pretty close with one of the large owners of that horse, and they've got one race in mind, and that's in November. So
Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
I'll be expecting them to. He's an out and out. I know he was super impressive last start. This is a bit different race. I think they'll just be going back and wanting him to keep running on and setting him for that race. So, unless he's a better horse than I think he is, I think that's the next race I'll be backing him in.
Outstanding. Caulfield race 10, number 2, Generation. 150 at $16 here. So Midwest, She Dances, Vivienne, Bacchanalia on the lead, Rose Court, Sebenak. That's who he's up against. Funny race, this one. Funny quaddie leg.
I'd say Generation is the most overbet camel I've nearly ever seen. Should have been gelded a long time ago. And if it's ever going to win, it'll be from barrier 7A last race, Caulfield 1120s, and it'll come down to
That's
middle
right.
win.
That's what I thought. Yeah, it's spot on.
So I'm not going to knock that bet. If it was $4, I'd say the person is at 16. It'll be going in everything I have just in case. Sanity.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got that far. I've got no idea that race, but...
I just black booked
Midwest will be hard to run down.
I black booked Midwest after its first up run.
Yeah.
That was extraordinary. I just didn't think it was that good a horse.
Up the front with W Pin.
in the S4 reform. That's probably, yeah. You're right. Keep it simple and maybe go that way. Toowoomba race 6, number 11.
Oh, yeah. Big day there, isn't it? The Toowoomba,
It's a
Wheatwood
Day.
Yeah.
Up in Shane Curlew country, old curls. Toowoomba race 6, number 11, Cryptic Sound. So this one's been a bit of a mover here. So $80 at 26. Interesting. Rex Lip Train, Taylor Marshall, 26 into $15. Horses like Bobby Shiraz, Glass of Rose, Planned Egg Counter, Red Defcon, Adelaide, Capital C. I haven't got that far, but it's in the Toowoomba Guineas there. So interesting that Bjorn's got the favourite, Bobby Shiraz, but that's a race that I'm going to have to do with a fair bit more scrutiny, but I expect Bobby Shiraz to probably be pretty popular there, given his form around Kadinsky Abstract and Sovereign Fund through the trials and things like that, and Felix the Scat and all those sort of horses, Libertad. Interesting to see how that one washes out, but interesting market move and interesting size bet. Obviously, minimum bet laws sort of kick in there. Race 10 at Rosehill, Ezekiel. It's $75 at $34 here. Race 10, Rosehill. I have not got that far myself, but Mojo Magic I think is going to be scratched. Ojai, Extravagant Star, Mars Mission, Porte, Tristate, Cavalier Charles. Tricky little race there, so maybe that's why they're going wide. But yeah, I did hear that Mogo Magic's going to be scratched. So
The only thing I know about that race is that Lavish Empire, its fourth emergency, was a great run last start. It's an ex-Newnham horse kind of Snowden. I think it's got ability, but I don't know the form. Old mate Cecil Street lads there. Fleming sold it.
Yeah, Christian Buchanan, I think it won first up. And then, that Abel Willie just snuck up on the fence and beat that Lavish Empire. So
that was
the race. That was the race.
What a freak.
He's a very interesting rider, Nash. So I'm interested to see what he does this Saturday. DK, that's pretty much the guts of the show. Can you turn your fortunes around with your
turn the fortunes around? You're kidding, aren't you? What happened to the last race at Geelong last week?
I've
Did
got
it
a
win?
question.
Gave Struck Gold Windburn.
The thing that beat us, Miss Galore, ended up short, didn't it, with all the scratchings.
Hey, gave Struck Gold Windburn.
At what price did you get
win.
after deductions?
6-4 or something.
Oh, it's all right.
Hey, DK, have you looked at Cranbourne today? There's a horse there that it's called Excess. It was gay, unraced, a Schnitzel, and it's been transferred to Julian Sandu.
Yeah, it's the relation to Lofty Strike. That's why.
Right,
relation to
okay.
Lofty Strike. Yeah. Pretty sure it's either the full or the to Lofty Strike. So it's trialled up good, but a lot of them having that race, but it trialled up good.
But what's this thing worth? It's out of Schnitzel, out of a Golden Slipper winner. And they give it to Gay, it wins a trial, and they give it to Sandu. And the trial, Miss Galore.
Miss Galore, yeah. It lines up well, doesn't it? Yeah. No, it's Sandu trains Lofty Strike, so you can see why they're giving it to him. So Lofty sister, Lofty Strike's sister. There it is. Julie Sandu, Lofty Strike's sister. Blue blood.
Kamachi in a trial, and it beat Miss Galore in a trial. So
if I had a horse that valuable, I'd be leaving it with Gay over Julia, so with all due respect. But anyway.
I reckon he's going all right.
There you go. Yeah, he's a good trainer.
I'm not saying he's not a good trainer. I'm just saying he's not Gay Waterhouse.
Yeah.
They are going good. Very hot camp. Going
He said if I was making a comparison, she does seem to have a bit more jump and go type of speed when comparing the duo. So,
Correct.
Overreach. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. As I said, these maidens, as we've seen, they're hot as mustard this time of year. There's I think race 2. It's race 2 at Ballarat tomorrow is as hot as you'll see a maiden this time of year. Saw a thing of Craig Pearce's. Did you see that thing Verdad win on debut there? It was like $15 and just went like an absolute Learjet last week at Bendigo, and all the stables just let go their good horses this time of year. So it's a bit of fraught with danger in the maidens. So then, like with Missy Galore, I go looking for sort of things I know that won their maidens, that sort of followed throughout their career. So there's one there. I tip if you want to tip Scooty race 4, number 4 tomorrow. Ryo Yuki. I think
Ryo Yuki. I know this horse.
Ryo Yuki. When I was doing the tips for the thing, I think I tipped it when it won its maiden for my subs when I was doing that. And it's a second up specialist. Had the little kid, had R. Houston on. It's not an apprentice's horse. Put R. Houston on behind Glitzing first up. It's good form. Glitzing franked that yesterday, gets senior rider. Loves 1400. Ran second at Ballet Rich at Flemington, 1400 last prep. Second up, I think the prep before it ran second at Flemington as well. Or somewhere in town, second up to a nice filly. So I thought Ryuki, race for my missus won't be happy with me tipping race 4, number 4. Bloody hell, she's Chinese. Should be tipping race 8, number 8. But race 4s are no good. They mean death, if anyone doesn't know that in Chinese. So there's no, at the casino over the road here, there's no level 4. There's no level 4 in the hotel or anything. There's no one to stay there. But there's level 88, even though it's not at level 88. Yeah, so anyway, race 4, number 4. There we go.
Strong form this. Ballet Riche, Wishlaw Lass, British Columbia, Yulong Patrol. So
Just
definitely looks...
A strong race. Magic Chloe goes all right.
Magic Chloe goes, R. Houston goes on it. Senior rider's off it. R. Houston on it. The kid, I like the kid coming off this. He's just, Matty Williams knows it's a second up horse. So I'll just put the apprentice on, get back, run on first up. And then the only thing I wish it drew a bit better, but it is a run on horse anyway. But Ryuki, look, but it's total. There's good horses going around there tomorrow. Mornington Glory's a big one there tomorrow. he was come out of retirement and gone to G Bedgood, so it's trialled up good. It'll be very interesting horse there to watch tomorrow.
Oh, it's always trials good, mate.
It does, but no, I know someone in the ownership there, and Bedgood reckons he's got it. It has been a troll superstar, but he thinks he's got it right. So it'll be very interesting what happens with that horse tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I've lost plenty on it before. I better follow up.
Yeah. No, don't let under your guard tomorrow.
Jeez, I think you two might need your own provincial racing show. You guys could wrap it on for the next 4 hours if I let you.
Good, mate. Yeah, so, as I said,
Victorian racing, mate. That's all you need.
The provincial princes.
yeah, $3 anywhere. Mandang's the same at $3 at Flemington. That's the old motto.
I agree.
Tatura Saturday. How's that? Tatura. How good?
Tatura. I haven't got there. Are the acceptances out yet? No.
Best leaders track in the state now. They've ruined a lot of the other ones with Canberras and things like that. Bloody Ararat's cast, Seymour's cast. Now bloody Tatura's the best leaders track in the state. So just find whatever can jump on the bunny there. Sorry, away you go, Scoot. We'll rabble it on.
Welcome to Bet Doctor. This is our can't believe Militarised won the Golden Rose.
And
Welcome
can
to the
we
next
just
Thursday
say?
show.
Can we just say go Lions?
Yes, we
Morals.
can. They're-
Well, what
they're
price
in
do
a-
you get? $1.40's bloody overs maximum.
I'm
bet, isn't
flying
it?
up there. I'm flying up there Saturday, and because I put the game at 5:15, I have to leave halfway to the last quarter to catch my 8:40 flight. So let's hope we're winners.
Fuck, Jesus.
I was staggered. I thought they were $1.20 chance, the Lions. I thought it's absolute stealing, the $1.33.
They banged up the Blues, but good on them.
$1.40 Lions, plenty of $1.40 around.
Oh, absolute. Just get on. Waterford into Admirable. Very responsibly, and we'll see you on next Thursday's show after all our tips have just had trouble-free runs and have hit the line. Big thanks to you, Azza. I didn't mind you on the extended episode. We might have to super sub you in for longer next time. And,
Thanks, boys.
We'll catch you next week. And DK, Lone Wolf, hopefully you and Walt can have a couple of little sherbets and bury any hatchets that are remaining in the back or the front yard or anywhere.
Be
Once
trying to do
Spikey's
that.
drink, take him to Kittens.
He's a good man. Yes. Yeah, I was going to say we're going to be a Cecil Street lad out myself tonight. We'll see.
If you want to catch DK, that's where we'll be. You'll be at the dancing late at night. And I tell you what, there'll be plenty of the Betfair and Smart operators in tow there. And I wish I was down there as well myself. All right, big thanks to all our sponsors, and we can't wait to see you next week. And good luck, great racing, and as we say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So gamble responsibly. Good luck.